Welcome back, everybody. Well, the treatment of the de-acidification is done. Today we're going to rebond these pages using some 6-gram Tengu-Jo paper. This is a tannish color to more match the color of the book. So during the process yesterday off camera, one of the pages got stuck and we lost an edge. So that brings an extra challenge today. So we're going to go ahead and carefully pull back the holly text, and we're going to try and reattach the page. Let me make sure I get the correct side here. Let me put this holly text back down and get all the air bubbles out. Protect the page. Okay, let me pull back this side because this is the edge, the page actually that the strip came off of on the interior. There we go. So hopefully, let me turn some lights on here, maybe see it a little bit better for everybody. Now, I'm going to carefully lift this piece up, and I've got to flip it over so it matches up. So I can catch an edge here without damaging it. There we go. Let's lift this up, and we'll flip it 180 degrees over. And we'll see if we can carefully position it back into place. This is looking pretty good. Luckily, it was a nice, even tear. Let me see if I can help it along here and get it lined up correctly. Just a little pull here. Almost there. There we go. Now, let's see if we can get these tear marks to line up. And this is probably one of the most difficult challenges of rebonding is when you have small pieces and large pieces, because things like that happen. Okay. So we're going to lift this back up. Slight overlap here. It's actually a lot easier with the smaller pieces of paper because you can manipulate them, and these large strips like this are extremely challenging. Now I can see through the dampness of this. This is overlapping by maybe a 64th of an inch, which is a 64th too much. Okay, this is starting to line up nicely now. Okay, I think this looks really good. Let's get this other piece on. Piece that just tore. One thing I do recommend that you have is a large amount of patience. I'm just going to tap this a little bit, get it in position. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to scoot the page on the left so it realigns. Let me put this back down. Pull up this side now. And as always, wet paper is weak paper. So I'm going to be very careful with peeling this piece up. It's wet, and when it was dry, it was super brittle. So now this is going to be pretty difficult for you all to see it on camera because I have to have my hand, unfortunately, in the way. Okay, we're getting kind of lined up. And we can't manipulate the paper too much because it will tear. Now this bottom part looks really, really good. Just a hair, and just slide it ever so slightly. There we go. And this is, without a doubt, the most nerve-wracking part of restoration, because you don't want to damage a book any more than it already is. Okay, these pages are lining up. Now, at least, and I also notice when doing this is there's a couple more tears here, which we will seal, and with small pieces of the Tengu-Jo paper. So let's get this to lay down flat. One thing that working with wet books, as long as you're careful, any smashed corners or anything along those lines can be easily withdrawn from the book. Let's see if we can straighten. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I think we're ready. I pull these pages taut. I'll lay them down. Once this is done, we're going to put the holly text back over, and this will go into the press, and it will dry on top of paper towels, several different layers, to pull the moisture out of the wheat paste. Now, this is wheat paste. It's got a nice consistency to it. We're going to brush it on a little bit once we put the paper down. So now, one thing we want to do is make sure that there is no sharp edges on the paper. And there's not, so you tear the edges. Pull this back just a hair more. There we go. Make sure I have enough working room, and we don't want to damage anything more than it's already damaged. I like to use the wheat paste. It is actually a lot stronger than some of the other bonding materials. It's water soluble, so therefore if there's a mistake, we can easily remove the material and the Tengu-Jo paper. Okay, so I've pressed this down in the middle. This is the back side of the spine. So we just kind of work from the middle out, feather the edges in. It's easy to do with the finger. And once we get it going, down, and then I'll go over this with the wheat paste. And that will make a very strong bond. And once it's dry, we can move on to the next pages. And I'm going to do all of those off camera. So there's a lot of them, unfortunately. There's 8 pages and the cover. It's a classic EC book. Let's see how we do here. Get this paste. And we always start in the middle and we brush outwards. We'll work down one side, then we'll come back and do the other. And if you like what's happening here, please follow my YouTube channel. It's fairly new. I think I only have one video on there right now, and that is the process of working on a Daredevil number 8, first Stiltman. Please go look at the changes that were made with that. And please follow. I'm new to this, so I don't exactly know how all the YouTube stuff works, but I am doing my best to entertain and educate if I can. And again, I am a follower and student of Dr. Paul, and you can catch him on his channel. He and I have corresponded a couple times and questions, and he's helped me out. And he is just a great individual to follow. And I also recommend following Rick Morgan over at Immaculate Comics, another person I consult with. Both of these gentlemen are incredible, smart, scary smart chemists. I'm not exactly sure what Dr. Paul is, but I'm guessing chemist. Me, not a chemist. I try. I am a pilot by trade. And this is a wonderful pressure relieving hobby for me. Now, you are probably wondering about the thickness of the paper. As I said, it is very thin. It is 6 grams per square meter. So 1 gram is about the weight of a paper clip. So it gives you an idea how lightweight this is. It's very delicate tissue. However, once it's bonded with the wheat paste, it makes it quite strong. And we will have rejoined these pages. And I'm sorry that I talk while I work. I just want to make sure we have everything covered. When you're wetting these pages, just to re-wet them, after the process of the de-acidification, I sucked all the moisture out of the pages and I had to reintroduce it. So if you have distilled water, which can easily be found, that's great. If you can, I prefer to use deionized water, not necessarily for this, for re-wetting, but definitely for humidifying. If you are humidifying your books, which I highly recommend, to add moisture back into them before you make any form of repairs. Okay, so I am going to inspect this book a little bit. I saw a tear, which you probably can't see on camera. There's a little teeny one right there. So what I'm going to do is just tear a small piece of Tengu-Jo. Just barely see it. And I'm going to lay it right on top of this tear. And again, I'll take the wheat paste and we'll brush it on. And once this is dry, we'll see. I'll show it to you, and we'll trim the edges up here off the paper. But you always brush from the inside out. Like that. Okay. I see another little teeny fleck. You know, you could spend all day trying to rejoin things over here. I don't think I'm going to mess with this. This is the inner wrap. You know, there's a little bit of leeway when having things graded, and sometimes too much is too much. So we are going to take this paper, Holly Tex, and One thing about this this bonding and everything that we did, the Hollytex will not bond with the wheat paste. And it's a little bit lumpy through here, which is okay, because that's what we're going to put it in the press for. So I will smooth it with my fingers. This will also help press everything in. Hollytex is a non-directional fiber paper. This is used in the restoration of documents. And as far as I'm concerned, I consider comic books documents. And this should look wonderful when it's done. And this is the back side of the inner wrap, because once it's done, you know, the less you see of the repair, it'll have its back to the audience when reading the book. And so we want to repair all the back sides. This is smoothing out very nicely in the middle. Okay, so let me lift this edge and get this air bubble out of the Hollytex. And we also want to check this side to make sure there's no tears. I looked at it earlier and it looks really nice. I don't see any tears there. So we'll go ahead and put this down, and I am going to mist it with distilled water one more time to help get some of these air bubbles out, because we don't want to create wrinkles in our pages. There we go. All right. Hollytex is already starting to dry out. And when doing anything with hydrogen peroxide, in this case it's just distilled water, I recommend a Swan quality mister. It does not put out big drops onto the paper. All these to disappear. Excellent. All right, so we're going to move this to the press, and we're going to lay down some. I'm going to do this off camera because my press is in another room, and we'll put down paper towels, 2 layers. Then on top of this, I'll lay another 2 layers. We'll press it between the metal plates, and we'll leave it there for 5-10 minutes. And then we'll come out and put dry paper on. And then we'll do this periodically through the day until all the moisture is pulled out of the book. And then we'll take a look at it after everything's dry. All right, until next time.